I'm doing Hot 105. I got a nationally syndicated show. So I'm doing Hot 105 weekly. I'm talking on air and doing mixes. So I'm on 7 days a week. I'm
Yeah.
doing mixes for the syndication company. I'm doing Power 92 in Chicago. And then I ended up being picked up by another station in Chicago, which is with the same company, 106.3. And they do old school mix. So that's a dope contemporary station. So now at one point, I'm on two radio and one of the only few DJs to do that. Me
Yeah.
and another one of my brothers, DJ Pat, may he rest in peace, man. I love you so much, bro. But like we were the only DJs in Chicago, and then
Yes, sir, man. Welcome to another episode of Success is Us. This channel is all about success. I bring on successful people to give you knowledge, wisdom, game, the inspiration, everything that you need to become successful yourself. And today I got DJ Mondo here. I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
what's going on, man? It's your boy DJ Mondo, the hottest DJ in the street, top 105 in the building. I do a national syndication for radio stations all over the country. So yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming. And so you said you were in LA right now?
Yeah. I'm in LA. I came out here. I've been doing some filming for some TV shows just while I'm still doing radio, but I kind of got into the acting thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it out there?
It's nice. Everything is starting to open up just a little bit more. Filming is opening up. So it's looking better. I mean, it's still a little slow, but it's definitely picking up, pretty much like all around the rest of the country.
Yeah. So like how has 2021 been in terms of like business wise, radio, acting, all of that?
Well, 2021 has been good. I've been able to keep my radio job during the
Yeah.
pandemic. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's like a real big plus, and I'm happy and thankful for that. God definitely blessed me because even some of the radio DJs kind of, they were starting to let people go. You
I
know what
can
I mean?
imagine because
So
like nobody driving their cars no more, and
yeah, just and then economics and just everything. You know how they always want to try to cut costs or whatever.
yeah,
But they did call a lot of people back, so they just kind of put some people like kind of like on a hold. Kind of like a temporary leave or whatever. But so the radio thing has been good. This past 2 months or 6 weeks, I've been able to film a couple of TV shows. I can't really speak on them yet, but both of them are major shows that come on TV, like regular networks like ABC, NBC,
okay,
Fox. Yeah, one of them has been going for like 17 years. So that's a hint. It's one of the more popular shows that's been out, and I think it's been on for 17 seasons. Uh,
I'm trying to
so
think in
that's
my head like
yeah, that's kind of like the hint. Think about yeah. But I'll keep everybody updated. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll keep everybody updated, kind of on what's going on. But it should be airing within the next couple of weeks.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, love to see. So yeah, we're gonna get to your acting career, but
Right.
first, like I said before, I just want to go through all the ups and downs of your journey. You feel me? Everything that you went through to get here. I want to know, like your highest moments, your lowest moments,
Right, right.
them times where you thought, like, man, this is the big break, and then dang, another letdown, like
Right.
just the journey you go through to become successful. So, first of all, how long have you been doing radio for?
All right, you're gonna make me tell my age, bro. Now I've been doing radio for 14 years this year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
14 years. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What got you into radio?
Well, I started off just as a regular bedroom DJ, just and then doing parties and clubs and events, and I always wanted to do radio.
Yeah.
Just listening to the DJs on the radio because I always thought it was cool the way they mixed the songs together. Kind of like how you hear me do now.
Yeah.
And I just got into it, and finally, a brother that I was working with, he gave me an opportunity in college to do some events, and then I did college radio at Illinois State.
Okay.
So I started off doing that, and what was crazy is that the program director there, like she knew I wanted to do the mixes. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to talk on air.
Yeah,
Only thing I
yeah,
wanted to do was do the mixes. Well, she had a slot that she had to fill. So it was kind of like, I'll make a deal with you. I'll
yeah,
put you
yeah.
on air and
But you
let you
had to
do the
talk.
mixes. Yeah, but you got to do this like, 2 to 6 type slot. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. But, I ended up taking it and just fell in love with it, from there. So I've been DJing and like doing mixing. I actually started like when I was like 8 years old,
wow.
just listening to the radio, and started doing it then. But I didn't actually start doing radio officially until like 2007, 2006, going into 2007.
So did you always like see yourself becoming a DJ and becoming a radio personality, or was it just
Yep.
like a hobby?
No, well, the radio personality part wasn't the dream. My mixes playing on the radio was a dream ever
Yeah,
since I was younger.
yeah, yeah,
So just being able to do that, like, the dream was fulfilled. And then being on air again was something I was really reluctant. I didn't feel comfortable, didn't
yeah,
want to do. But then after I started doing it, I got bit by the bug and I loved it. So it's really been a dream come true as far as radio. I've been wanting to do radio since I was 8 years old or even before,
yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, so you talked about that you never really planned on talking and you wasn't too big on talking. Uh
Yeah.
we kind of the same with that because I don't like like this is stepping out of my comfort zone, you feel me? So
Okay.
like how did
Okay.
it feel like that first time? Like you sitting, was you nervous or were you like
Yeah, I was. I really was nervous. Yep. I was. And what was so crazy is that the night before I had did like this big event. And so I was out like really late.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I was like a little bit tired and, but yeah, I was nervous, but it's like, once I get to going, all that just kind of subsides. And then it's just, I just get into my mode.
Yeah. You feel like that made you better?
Yes. Yes. And it gave me, it actually helped me as a DJ overall
Yeah.
because it helped me feel more comfortable about just talking publicly. So yeah, it really added another dimension just to the mix show side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you said your first party was in high school or college?
Well, the first party that I DJ honestly was kind of like when I was in high school, the
Yeah.
first kind of like official party. And then in college, at Illinois State, I just did a bunch of like a bunch of parties for the frat. And then I pledged the frat. I'm a Sigma,
Okay.
so yeah, I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Yeah, and it just really kicked off from there. College is when it really started. I dabbled and was able to do a few events in high school. I always DJ on
Yeah.
the bedroom side. But I would say college is when it was like, okay, 300-400 people at the party, and you're the DJ. Let's get it.
Was you getting paid?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I learned the business side earlier. You know what I mean in
Yeah.
life. So yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. What was your first paid gig?
The first paid gig that I did was actually for my frat at Illinois State. We had a party at the Bone Student Center.
Okay.
And I was yeah, big party. It was kind of like we had kickoff. Like if anybody go to Illinois State or familiar with a lot of people in college are familiar, Central Illinois, but kickoff. We had a big kickoff. It's like a step show and
Yeah.
kind of like a showcase. And then afterwards, it's always a big party, and I got to DJ that big party, and man, I loved it. The
Yeah.
big crowd though, like maybe 700-800 people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and then from there, how did you get from there to you? Well, first of all, you just doing it for fun, in your room.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Mm-hmm.
your friend put you on, you start making a
Mm-hmm.
little money. Then how you get from there all the way to 105.5?
Well, when I was doing college radio at Illinois State, Deb, who was over she's over the communications department, but she was over radio. You know what I mean? The radio department. And so, she was always congratulating, you're doing good, you're sounding good. And so I was like, man, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Now it's like, getting close to graduation time. And so I'm looking for a radio job, as a career. And so they used to have this book, and it was a book, and in the book, it was pretty thick, but it had a list of all the radio stations basically in America
Yeah.
and the program directors, like the numbers, to the stations. And then just like, because most program directors, I have like an office, or whatever. And so she gave me the book and she was like, here. And I was like, no, Deb, listen, why don't you just call for me? She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, I'm going to take care of you. But she was also teaching. And she was like, look, I want you to go in this book. And so it just so happened that Suave is the program director at Hot 105. Suave graduated from Illinois State. Suave was the program director when he was at Illinois State doing radio.
Yeah, yeah.
So of course she had that connection, and she already was going to do it, but it was like, she was just kind of teaching me. And I was like, man, can you call him for me and this and that? And she was like, no, I want you to look it up, and I want you to call, send a message. You know what I mean?
You were just shy.
Well, not so much as that. It was kind of like, man, they ain't gonna, like they're not gonna. Yeah. Well, I guess you can't say it was a part of being shy, because I'm like, and then I'm like, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody all the DJs want to be on the radio, so it's like I'm the 1,000th cat that's calling,
Yeah.
And so I was just hesitant. She was like, no, so I called them, had an email, I left a message, and I had the email, and so I sent them like a little, kind of like a radio kit, a package where like, you have your air checks. Your air checks are like recordings of you on air. So when it's like Hot 105.5, the only home for hip hop and R&B, that was music from this person or just whatever, And so I sent them some air checks, and then I had did 2 interviews with actually 2 legends. I did an interview with MC Light. And MC Light is kind of like, like one of the first female like hip hop rappers to really make it. And then I don't know if you're familiar with Naughty by Nature, but Tretch from Naughty by Nature. Naughty by Nature is the song Hip Hop Hooray. Yeah. And then And so I did an interview with him. Okay. And so I sent that, just like portions of that in the air check, and then Deb had hollered at him on the back end. But I went through the process. He contacted me back, and let's have a meeting. So we talked, and then he had an opening. And so when he had an opening, he was like, "Well, look, I got a mix show opening." So I started off doing the mixes for Hot 105. I wasn't talking; I was talking with college radio. That's
how long was that after you graduated?
Well, actually, it was like the beginning of my senior year.
Oh, okay.
And so I was still on the radio, and it was crazy because I was still doing, like there was a lapse, like the second semester of my senior year, I was doing college radio at WZND at Illinois State. And then I had just started doing the Saturday night show, and it was like a 3-hour show, 3-hour mix show from 7 to 10 p.m.
But you weren't talking?
No, I wasn't talking. Okay. I wasn't talking at all. And so I started doing the weekends. And then, I was listening to the station. I was like, I could do like a throwback mix at noon.
Yeah.
Which is the hot lunch mix that we do at noon. We still, it still goes on.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I could do that. So I put my bid in and hollered at him, and I had been doing good with the mix show. This was like a couple of months later, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he was like,
before.
Yeah. But I mean, it did happen soon. So we're not talking about a year later. Like we're really talking about maybe within 2 months, you know what I mean? And I was just doing weekends. So we're talking about Saturday. So we're talking about maybe 6 to 8, show Saturdays in, And then I did a couple of other like party events with the stations. And, and so it was like I could prove, just that I could do it live. I could rock, the parties and, for the stations and everything too. So that worked. And so I was like, man, what's up with the lunch mix? And so he hit me one day. We was actually out at an event. He was like, so you want to do the noon mixes, the hot lunch mix? I was like, yeah. He was like, all right, cool. We get you started. No, he was like, when you want to start? Like, I was like, I can start Monday, like this Saturday night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I can start Monday. He's like, no, we can give you some time. I was like, it's on you. But like I say, like I DJ. So I can do, we can get started whenever. So I ended up starting, I think about a week later, because they wanted to do some promo.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He kind of laughed at me like, okay, cool. I appreciate being in the go position. That's what's up. But we're going to do a week's worth of promo or so. And then I started doing the lunch mix. So I was on Saturdays 7 to, I know I seem like I'm just talking a lot, but I'm just telling
Oh,
the
go
story.
ahead.
So
That's what
yeah,
we're here for, man.
right. But I started, like say Saturday 7 to 10. I was doing the mix show, and then I started doing Monday through Friday now at noon to 1. Now that's a major time slot in
Yeah.
radio,
People
in
driving for
anything.
lunch and
Right. I mean,
yeah.
even radio, TV, communications, like anything between 10 and 6, 10, 9 and 7. Well, even the morning shows are prime time.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything between like the morning show and like 6, 7 o'clock is kind of like a prime time, type of slot. And so I just got a lot of exposure, from just doing that. And then eventually one of the jocks that was doing the weekends, the Saturdays and Sundays, he was leaving. So it was kind of like an opportunity just kind of opened up again randomly, just the Most High God at work,
Yeah.
And so he left. And so then I started eventually doing talking. Now, this was different because I was talking, in college radio, but then, I wasn't doing it for Hot 105.
Yeah.
So then I started talking on the radio. And I ain't gonna lie, my first show, like I was nervous because like this is like, and I'm not, college radio is college radio, but this is like the big airwaves were like ratings, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was nervous, but I just like anything, I wanted it, I jumped in there, and it was like after every show, man, I would just have this natural high, this rush,
Yeah.
and yep. And so that was from then, like I say, I got bit by the bug, yeah, go ahead though.
Yeah.
I started doing other shows, but if you have any other questions, you go ahead though.
Yeah, we definitely gonna talk about those other shows too. But I just wanted to say that it was important because you were saying that all these opportunities are coming up, but you was prepared for those opportunities. And that's how you're able to capitalize on it, like
yes.
preparation is important. A lot of people they praying for these opportunities, but they ain't waiting, they ain't, putting in the work for it. So when it comes, they can get to it.
That is so true. So anybody out there listening and this works true with anything that you're doing, but definitely like be harnessed in your craft in the background, because it's a shame to get that opportunity and then mess it up, because they don't come that often, especially the bigger stuff, man. So yes.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, I want to talk about the lows and the highs and stuff. So what was one of like the biggest lowest moments in your career where you was like, man, I don't know if I don't even want to do this anymore? Or did you even have any moments like that?
Well, I've had low moments. I won't say there was no moments where like I didn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but I'll say this. After being on Hot 105, I started doing mixes for Power 92 in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started off, slowly doing mixes. So I had an opportunity to do a noon mix for them. And this is like, again, the market is, this is like the number 3 market in America.
Yeah.
And so I went for it and I didn't get it. I auditioned for it. I submitted mixes, you know what I mean? And they be real thorough or whatever. And they, and I didn't get it. And so I felt like I was hard on myself because I felt like I had an opportunity and I didn't capitalize on it. Now, of course, it's always other factors. Like they got other people that's been there long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so much stuff going on. But I was like, this was my chance because whoever they get this spot to, like, I got to wait for them
to die out or whatever,
or mess up, and that ain't gonna happen for a while. Because look how long I've been on the radio, and cats been wanting my spot. You see what I'm saying? So it was like real. So I ain't gonna lie, man. I was really down on myself, and I just kind of felt like I didn't capitalize, and I felt like, man, I'll never be able to be on weekly, like in a major market, or to do it like that. You know what I'm saying? And so it just so happened that another night opportunity opened up
for the same station.
Yeah, for Power 92.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started off doing like guest mixes or whatever, and it was regular, and then I got like a regular Wednesday night spot like every week.
Yeah.
And so, just a long story short, I've had this happen with something else too. But it's like sometimes when those doors close, like you're going like, okay, this is my big tryout for the Lakers. And I
Yeah,
get like one shot. Like if I don't make it now, I can't come back next week and be like, okay, let me get another chance.
yeah.
So, it's kind of like that. And it's like that big, and you're like, okay, so what's bigger than this? You get what I mean when you're going for big stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what's bigger than playing in the NBA? Like if you just think about it, if you're a basketball player, what's bigger than that? So you get a shot. Say I'm just using the Lakers. It could be any team, but you get that shot, and then you don't make it,
Yeah.
or they don't pick you or whatever. And so it's like this was my shot. So what am I going to do now? Because if I didn't make that team, then depending on certain circumstances, I may not make other teams. And so you kind of get down. And I was just thinking it was a situation where it was like, man, I'm going to have to wait years, or this may not happen. And I got down. And then the Lord blessed me with an opportunity, and it ended up being, say, better. So maybe I didn't get picked up by the Lakers, but I got picked up by Golden State. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
I didn't get this particular time slot, but then I got this time slot, and this time slot is actually better.
Yeah.
I have more creativity. I can do more, and it's brings about just as much, attention. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of learned that when these doors close, not to, get down and think that, okay, well, man, that big hookup is gone, and I don't know
How
when
long
it's
did
going to
that
come
take
back.
I'm sorry, but how long did that take
Uh-huh.
from when like you didn't get the 12 o'clock spot till you got the night spot?
It ended up being maybe almost a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in between there, just to show you too the way God was blessing, I got picked up by a national syndication company, Super Radio, out of New York, and they do mixes. They what it is that radio stations will contract syndication companies for their shows, like the Breakfast Club, as an example.
What's
That's
the
a company.
company for anybody who doesn't know? I know, but
Okay, right. Well,
know.
a syndication company, what they do is they have big shows that can be broadcast and that you can buy. And it's a business thing. You work out with ads or whatever. But what happens is you can purchase that show from that company. So, like, there's a company that does the Breakfast Club. So if you want to purchase the Breakfast Club, as an example, then you go through that company. You know what I mean? And then they'll work it out, whether it's paying or barter or however they work it out. And then you can get that show. And then that show will air on your radio station. And so that's what Super Radio does, is they have programming for top 40, for all genres, top 40, country, adult contemporary, which is like the 25 and older stations, which is going to be, kind of older music or whatever. But I was able to start doing mixes for them. And see, that was huge because now my mixes are playing all over the country. So it's kind of like I'm tripping because I've missed this one spot here, but then now I get picked up by a syndication company and my mixes are playing on stations all over the country. And then months later, I end up getting a slot, you know what I'm saying? On Party. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was a blessing.
Is there like a maximum amount of like people you can work with, or is it like you can just send out as many mixes as you want type stuff?
Oh, well, no. Well, yeah. The way it works is the syndication companies already have the radio stations, like that they're going to have. So once the radio station is on board with the syndication company, then they just get the mixes.
Okay.
So what it is that I upload a mix to a server. It's a 4-hour show every week.
Okay.
And then the radio stations they have, of course, log in and access to the server, and they just simply download the mixes. And they use them accordingly. Some radio stations use them for their 5 o'clock mixes. Some use them for their 12 o'clock mixes. Some use them for the weekend mixes, like 10 at night. So like a 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. type of mix.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, so that was one of your like lowest moments. Can you think of like one of your highest, like, you was just so proud of yourself and felt accomplished and,
2 of them. One was when I got with the syndication. Well, I guess I could say three. When I got with the syndication company, because I had been wanting to do that. Like, it happened sooner than what I thought. You see what I
How
mean? The
long from when
opportunity.
you started your career?
About a year and a half later. About
Wow.
a year and a half. Yep, from when I started with Hot Light. Well, you know what? It may have even been like almost like a year, because right after I got like with Power 92, a little while afterwards is when I started, you know what I mean, with the
Yeah.
syndication. So yeah, it was it wasn't a long time at all,
So were you
and
just like a dope DJ? Like you was just, gifted, or was it
of
like
course I'm the hottest DJ in the streets, man. What's
okay?
your boy? No, but honestly, that's a two-part answer. I always let listeners or whatever decide that. But honestly, yeah, I put in work with my craft. I'm a
Yeah.
perfectionist, and by the grace of God, and I mean by his grace and mercy, I am good at what I do. This is one of the things in life that, music is something that I can really do. So that's what it was. But blessings too. Like, I was prepared for it, like we said, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the Lord saw that I was ready for it. But anyway, so it was, the syndication when I started doing that. And then when I got the regular spot on Power 92, because that was my dream, was to do Chicago radio. Because when I was
Yeah.
listening to radio, I was from Chicago. You know what I mean? I didn't even know I was going to deal with Hot 105 until, of course, later. You know what I mean? In
Yeah.
life. So that was it. One of the other ones was the Decatur Celebration. That crowd. I'll have to send you some video and some pics, but that crowd is like a Lollapalooza crowd. And anybody that's from Central Illinois that goes to the Decatur Celebration knows, like, that's like the taste of Chicago. Like, but I
Yeah.
mean, the amount of people is massive. You know what
Okay.
I mean? And I got a chance to do an hour and a half DJ set, opening up for because like every year they would have like an old school artist that would come. So it may be like, one year they had Salt and Pepper. One year they had T.I. Then they had Naughty by Nature, and then they had like Morris Day and the Time, and Salt and Pepper. So I got an opportunity though to open up. I think when they had I think it was Salt and Pepper. I had an opportunity to DJ, and that was the biggest crowd, because we talking about like literally, and it's kind of hard to even show you now. I wish I could put up the phone to the Zoom, but I'll send you a pic. That
Uh,
crowd is massive, and you would never think that there would be a crowd that big in Central Illinois.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really
How
one of
did
the
you get
highest
that?
moments.
How did you get that? Like get
Through Hot 105, through radio.
okay.
Yep, listening, and then the people who were putting together the celebration, because this is what really helped me, because I was doing the new mixes, because I was on at 5 o'clock at that time. So at this time, it had been a couple of years.
Yeah.
We talking about 4, 5, 6 years. You know what I mean? Since I had been on the radio, and I was doing the new mixes and the 5 o'clock, and so since this was so crazy, and I felt like an idiot. Like, we're gonna backtrack. All right, so peep game. So for like 2 years in a row, they have been asking me, man, I want you to come and DJ at the Decatur Celebration. Listen, I was like, small festival, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
and I don't have an ego, you know what I mean? But I was just kind of like, I'm doing
Have
so
you never
much. And then
been there or?
no, I don't know why I wasn't hip to it, because when I'm telling you, it's a Lollapalooza crowd.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. And if you ask anybody about it, they'll tell you.
Okay.
But anyway, they had been asking me for a couple of years. And I was like, nah, because I was going to Chicago, because I was doing Chicago radio. So I was going to
Yeah.
Chicago during the weekends. I was doing events. And I was like, this is a smaller hookup. So when I did the interview with Naughty by Nature, me and Tretch, we had got cool though. And we was even communicating like years after that, or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And so ironically, they had Naughty by Nature performing. And so they had got kind of whim of how like cool me and Tretch or whatever was. And when they talked to him and he said the market, he called me. He was like, man, and New York, he was like, man, yo, I think I'm gonna be doing a show in your area. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
accent. And I was like, it's gonna be like it's in Illinois. He was like, it's in Decatur. I was like, yeah, that's where my station at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, they got us, man. It's supposed to be like some big festival or whatever. So he was like, man, just come through. Let's meet up. because we had never met. We had talked on the phone. We did the
Okay.
interview, and we was keeping, contact on the phone and everything. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he was like, come through. So I was like, all right, cool. And it was amazing that they called me. They was like, listen, we know you're in Tretch is cool. Like, I tell you what, I know you don't want to DJ, but can you just introduce Naughty by Nature? So it was like me, Tat, and Suave on stage, but it's
Yeah.
like, can you just come? And so I was like, cool. So I got there, and Tretch was kind of, backstage, and I was kind of hanging out. We was kind of hanging out the whole time. And I could see I was so busy hanging with him, but I was looking at the crowd from the area that I was in, and I could see it building. I was like, man, it's thick out here.
Yeah.
And so me and Tretch kind of walked up to like a little bit up the stairway, just kind of looking. And I looked at him. He's like, "Bud, this." I was like, "Man, are you kidding me?" So then, when it came time, and I walked on stage, and I looked, there were people literally as far as I could see, and I mean, literally. You know what I mean? Like I almost want to. While I'm talking, I got this. You know what I mean? Because if you haven't been there, like okay, I don't. I don't know if you can. I think I gotta go here. You see that?
I
Look at
can
that.
see that. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's definitely
um,
impressive.
you know what I'm saying? This is just another
Yeah.
year. I ended up doing it like 3, 4 years. You know what I mean? In a row. This is another hookup right here. I don't know if how you can see that.
That one I can't really see that well, but the other two, yeah.
But like I say, just massive, massive crowds. And so I was like, man, I remember getting on stage, and I was like, I ain't know the Decatur Celebration did it like this. I said, they've been asking me to DJ, and I've been like, nah, I'm too busy. I was like, man, if y'all like, I was like, y'all want DJ Mondo next year? The whole crowd just like went wow. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? And so then introduced Naughty by Nature. They invited us on stage with them. So it was dope, but that was definitely my highest moment, being able to even perform in front of a crowd like that.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
So you said it was three. That's two. What's the last one?
Well, one of them actually was when I got. Well, let me go back. It was when I got the spot, the weekly spot on Power
Okay,
92,
okay,
and
okay.
then when I got the syndication job, that was the second one, and then when I got a chance to perform at the Decatur Celebration. And then I did that for like 4, 5 years in a row.
Okay.
Yeah, in front of that crowd. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah. So when it comes to the business side,
mhm,
how is it like? Okay, so everybody knows DJ Mondo, and like you got this big following, and you're
mhm,
influential in everything. Do you
mhm.
monetize yourself otherwise from the checks that you get from radio?
Well, yeah, because I have artists that I work with. So I do like artist development and artist promotion. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Yeah. So I'm kind of into that with the events that I do, because it opened up so many doors. So now I'm not just doing parties. Now
Yeah.
I'm doing weddings. Now I'm doing corporate events. Now
Okay.
I'm doing events for like as an example, when Xfinity first opened their store in Champaign
Yeah.
out there, like in the mall area,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
called me out there to DJ.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When Steak and Shake, as an example, that's another company, when they launched their Up All Night menu a few years back,
Yeah.
we did an up all. It was like an Up All Night uh, party, and what they did was they had a contest between like Champagne, Steak and Shake, the I think it was Danville Steak and Shake, and Bloomington, and it was like whichever one had the most sales
Yeah.
over a certain period of time, a month or whatever the time period was, got what was called an Up All Night party. And so I went through and DJ from like noon, I mean noon, from like midnight to like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, one of them won the Up All Night. It was the Champagne one.
Yeah.
And so I got an opportunity up to go, and it was just as they was launching the menu and people was coming in from the clubs. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I was DJing, and then also school events, and then it led to being able, to go to the schools and talk, do proms, do homecomings, and I was one of the first Black DJs in Central Illinois to do proms. and homecomings. You see what I'm saying? Because they wasn't letting black DJs do that, and they were only having bands
because of the music.
Yeah, and then because of the music. I mean, look, I always say, man, that it ain't just the music. It's just about having us in there. And I'm not, but they came around. The product that I put forth and the way that I brought it to Central Illinois opened up doors. Yeah. Honestly, it did. And so now I'm doing a homecoming. I'm not going to say the school, but as an example, the first event that I did, they wanted me to do their homecoming. The president of the student council was like, we want DJ Mondo. So they was like, no. Yeah. Like, hell no. The students got so mad that they decided, we're getting tired of homecoming and, and prom as well being so boring. You got this band. Like, this is some 80s stuff. You know what I mean? If they do have a DJ, you might hear 2 rap songs. And at this point, and you already know what I'm saying. And like, even white students are wanting, you know what I mean? They're wanting rap music. You know what I mean? So they were like, we're going to boycott homecoming. We're going to have our own hookup. And they got with the parents, and what they was going to do was rent out somewhere. And they was like, we're going to have DJ Mondo DJ, and we're going to have our own homecoming. And so, there was a school that did that. You know what I mean? And I don't, and it was cool, but they were like, okay, we'll have them. You know what I'm saying? And from then on, it worked out. It was just like I started doing, they were calling me back, other schools, because the students just like, man, DJ Mondo had our party turned up. It wasn't meant then. It was, what I'm saying? It was like, we turned up, what I mean? Like, yeah. So, yep. And just from then, it just opened up doors, and then I had to go through a thing with the bars because, again, you live in Central Illinois. So we're talking about like 2008, 2009. They don't want that rap music played at their bars because it brings about violence and this and that. Yeah. So I went for a while, not even being able to do the bars, like for a couple of years.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, and I would have the bar on. It's like, man, I listen to you on the radio all the time. I love the lunch mix. It's throwback. I love the 5 o'clock, but it's just that crowd. Like, you have a big following. And so everybody's going to be here. Yeah, it's going to be, white people here and that crowd that we want. But then it's also the thugs is going to come too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because so it was just like I went through that, and finally I was able to break some doors down. You know what I mean? And then I was able to kind of do, a few events, in Central Illinois. But by that time I was like, I'm corporate. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing Bradley's, I think your mom remembers, you know what I mean? But I was doing Bradley's.
Yeah. Okay.
And it used to be called what is it called? I forgot what it is now, man.
I don't even know.
Don't even worry about it. Yeah. But that was like a real, that was the most turned hookup going in Champaign and really Central Illinois, because we would have people coming from Bloomington, all the surrounding hookups. And Bradley's was big. Like, it would hold like a lot of people. It was one of the bigger clubs in Champaign. And it was actually a country bar, but they would have hip hop one night a week.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's just, just the product and the presentation, it just started to open up doors. You know what I mean?
Because the reason I asked that is because, like, especially like during this age, like social media age, a lot of people got like a lot of followers. They got a lot of influence, but they're not making no money. You feel me?
Like, right? Exactly.
A lot of people don't know how to like just monetize themselves, basically. And
yeah. But it works for me, and too, because I do radio, so I can do advertising. So that's another check. So now I can have, like, say for instance, if you got a clothing store, like your mom does clothes, right? You see what I mean? So it could be a situation where it's like, okay, well, I'll pay you to advertise my business.
Yeah.
And that's what, that's what they do in radio and TV anyway. Yeah. Or if it's a club event, or if it's a concert, you see what I mean? That's advertised on the radio. And so now, I was able to go and, like, the stores were like for instance, like, I would do stuff for activewear. So it's like they would pay me to do that, and then I would go in there and they may just bless me with some Jordans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I'm working with clothing lines. So now I get clothes now. Now I get shoes. Now I get cool stuff, and then I'm able to advertise this on the radio. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can make money, just aside from just the turntables and the actual, DJing thing. So yeah, it just opened up so many opportunities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's up. So, when did you get in the point of your career where you said you wanted to try out acting?
Like 2 years ago, or 2.5 years. Man, the pandemic make you lose a year. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking more so like, I don't know, 2007, 2018. I've always wanted to act. I've always, wanted to be on TV. I've always wanted to be in front of a bunch of people.
But you
That's
didn't
the
want to
thing.
talk.
I didn't want to talk on the radio,
Okay.
but like to actually be in front of like thousands of people, like I ended up being doing the mixes,
Yeah, yeah,
but I was just a little closed minded because I just didn't see the opportunity. Because talking on the radio brings you more opportunities.
yeah,
It does, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, man, it was just right around, like 2017 going into 18 or whatever. I just decided, like, man, I want to do this acting. I woke up and I was like, I want to do this, and so I started thinking, okay, well, if I'm gonna do it, I got to do it big. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And so I was like, okay, so what should I do? LA or New York. So I was like, okay, well, I just fly in and out. Well, it don't work like that.
yeah. You
You
gotta go
you
all
gotta
in.
be there. You
Yeah,
gotta live there because these opportunities literally come like today. Somebody will call me like right now or text me
yeah,
now for an audition tomorrow.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And so stuff like that. So I decided that LA was going to be better for because I wanted to do film and TV. New York is good for Broadway and stage.
yeah,
That's where you go. So if you want to do stage, Broadway, you go to New York. If you want to do TV, film, movies, then you go to LA. And so I came out here for a week, stayed in a hotel, saved my money. And I wanted to know what it was like to live here. Once I decided LA is where I needed to go, I said, okay, so what is it like living there? Like, how am I going to get around? Because
yeah,
LA is different. I
yeah,
mean, I'm from Chicago, so I'm definitely used to the bigger, big cities. But the traffic here and the moving around here is just a little bit more challenging.
yeah,
You know what I mean? The traffic here is just like, I mean, we're talking about, I mean, it's not like that now because of the pandemic, but we're talking about an average of 35 minutes to go 3 miles, literally, with the GPS like updating. You know what I mean? It's like, are you kidding me? It's
yeah.
like a parking lot. Like you see why they created Uber. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
sometimes you could probably walk there. You probably wouldn't want to walk the 2 miles.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But you could probably get there quicker
yeah,
at times, yeah. And so I just stayed. I was like, I need to know what it's like to be here on a Monday at 10 a.m., a Tuesday at 3:43 p.m.,
yeah,
a Thursday night at 1 in the morning. Like, what is it like? How am I going to get around? And so I took a week, to just live in the city. And I used some of the tourist spots, you know what I mean, to kind
yeah,
of figure out how to get around. And so I would say, okay, well, I'm gonna go to Santa Monica Pier, but I treated it like it was an audition or a job. So okay, I'm saying I'm going to be at Santa Monica Pier at 10:30. So how you gonna get there? And then
yeah,
make sure you're on time because this is the same as if it was an audition. So I just picked a whole bunch of like popular, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, just all of these places though.
yeah.
But how you gonna get there? And so after that week, I was like, bet I can do this, save my money, and then March. It would be March of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, March of 2019, I moved. And then God's been so good about 6 weeks, like a little over a month. I got a chance to be I did Ballers with The Rock, HBO.
For
Small,
real?
all of these are small roles. Keep this in mind.
Yeah, you
No,
still
it's that, yeah,
acting.
yeah. But yeah, but I did Ballers, and then I got a chance to do like a lot of stuff.
how,
And then
how
I was
did
on
you
a
get
bunch of
that though? Like,
well, I ended up I mean, well, no, not luckily. It was God. And I know you keep hearing me say that, but it really was because I ended up getting an agent, like a SAG after franchise agent. So like a
yeah,
real, I hate to use the term, but a real Hollywood agent,
yeah,
because that's how you get the big auditions. And so I was talking to a couple of actors, and most of them were like, "Look, we don't want to discourage you, but like most agencies, like they're not going to pick you up unless you have a body of work." You know what I mean? Like, you don't have anything or whatever, but just keep working or whatever. And so I saw an opportunity with an agency. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going out on a limb. So I emailed them. Long story short, they set up an interview. I showed them just all the stuff. Like I got videos of me DJing in front of the crowd. I was like, I need something just to show them, like, that I can express myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I showed them the videos of that. They interviewed me. They had me do some
Improv.
Improv, but also they gave me some scripts to read, like impromptu. So it was like just minor hookups, like look over this for 5 minutes or whatever, and then let's do this scene. And so I had some monologues because if you're an actor, you want to have monologues that you have memorized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you want something different. Okay, so if you're going for a comedy hookup, or or you just want to show your talent, so you want to have something a little bit comedic, you want to have something dramatic, and then you just kind of want to have something that's just maybe fiery or just whatever. And so it took like 3 hours, and they were just testing me, and finally they was like, you know what? Honestly, we really wouldn't even mess with you, but it's just something about you.
Yeah.
We like your look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have a real good look. You know what I mean? And you got talent. We're gonna take a chance on you.
Okay.
And
Why
I mean,
just because like you didn't have like prior work or
prior work. Yeah, it's just like if you going into the NBA, you can't come off the street and just get an agent. Like they don't have no film. They have nothing to where you can show. You know what I mean? That you can play ball, or no footage where you're in, like, especially if you're going to the NBA. So like they want like college footage, Final Four footage of you in that pressure situation. You know what I mean? Or just footage, period, man. It's like, you say you can rap and you want me to play your song, but yet like I've never heard anything before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was kind of that, but it was all God's work, and it just started laying down. And so that's how I got the jobs. And then people would just be watching TV, like I did All Rise. That was the show just got canceled for next season too. But I did that, How to Get Away with Murder. You know what I mean?
If a show gets canceled, do you still get paid?
No. Oh no.
Damn.
Oh no. Oh no. And you gotta understand, like I'm like one episode. So I'm not like a reoccurring character. But no, you don't. Once it's over with, once that show, I mean, even when that show goes into hiatus for a couple of months, if you stack your money and you got paid right, you good. But other than that, like you on to the next one. You see what I mean? It's just like a rapper trying to find a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, that one is over with. We got to keep the money going. Right. So that's kind of like, that's kind of like what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you said you woke up one day and you was like, man, I'm gonna move to LA. How long did it take you to make that decision though, to act on it?
Well, it really took only like a couple of weeks to just punk. Because once I decided I wanted to do it and do it, then I started researching. And then I booked the hotel and then I went there. Yeah. So like when I went there, I stayed for a week in September. That following March, you know what I mean? I had moved. Yeah. And it was crazy because sometimes the crib, it's hard to find cribs in LA. They are super expensive. I'm talking about for a regular studio.
Yeah.
$1,500 a month.
Oh yeah. No.
And see, I moved to like Hollywood, West Hollywood. Because that was like, I wanted to be, you know what I mean, where I could get to the studios and get, and then I knew I was going to be doing the clubs too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, all the clubs is in like West Hollywood. Like basically LA is set up different. They got a few clubs like downtown LA, but like West Hollywood. So whenever you watch TMZ and you see this singer, you see Drake coming out of this spot or this restaurant, even if it's an actor, Tom Cruise or whoever you want to think of, or you hear them at this club, all of that is in like West Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, all the hot spots are like there, Hollywood, West Hollywood, but really West Hollywood. Yeah. So, but yeah, I just stacked my money, man. And I had to pay because somebody else wanted the crib that I was going to get. So I paid I didn't move in until like the third week in March, but I had paid for the crib like in February.
Dang.
Yeah, so I could, secure it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. How do you balance like radio and acting at the same time?
Um, it's challenging, but with the way I'm able to do my shows now, I set my own schedule.
Okay.
So it's not like a 9 to 5 type of thing or
Yeah,
having
yeah,
to go, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I can stay up I could be up 3 in the morning, like doing mixes.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then a lot of times, like I'm submitting my mix, like because I'm not there now, then I have the syndication. Like I'm submitting my mix like within an hour before it airs. And so I usually like hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, but usually like I've been doing it for so long, so they know they're gonna get it because it used to be like, where's the mix? Where's the mix? You
yeah,
want to make sure we get it. But yeah, so by me being able to set my schedule, it opens up more time. So if there's an audition, then I can either do a little work, go to the audition, come back and finish, or maybe stay up. You know what I mean? It does get
yeah,
challenging when I have to remember lines and
yeah,
doing everything, but I can set my own schedule. So that helps me. So it's like being in college,
yeah.
just managing your time.
I bet that takes a lot of discipline though.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
How
Yeah.
important is discipline to you?
Oh, it's the ultimate. That's the only way I would be able to do, what I do, even with radio. Like everything, has to be timing is of the key with everything. And
Yeah,
then producing that maximum product. Because radio again, you got a million people listening to you. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Or the potential thereof, depending on, the market that you need. So yeah, discipline is like the foundation. That's what keeps everything going, you know?
yeah, yeah. So I'm not gonna hold you for too much longer.
No, you good.
Yeah, I want to know, is there any advice that you would give to somebody not just going into radio or acting, but just pursuing their dreams, pursuing their goals, or thinking about it?
Yeah, you know what? If it's something that you want to do it. A
Yeah,
lot of people hesitate because it's like, okay, I have to pick up and move. A lot of people don't want to come out of their comfort zone.
yeah,
Some people, they got kids and they got a family, so it's not as easy. But
yeah,
if you
yeah.
have the means to do it, it's really about not being afraid,
Mm,
not being hesitant, and stepping out of your comfort zone. I say do it because that's what I did.
yeah,
And I was fortunate enough to be able to still keep radio.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So that was a blessing. But honestly, do it.
yeah, yeah.
Like, do it. You only live once, man. Do it.
That's what's up. Yeah. So where do you see yourself going like in a few years? Well, first of all, did you see yourself where you are now when you were a little kid?
Yes. Well, the acting part, not so much as the acting part as a kid, definitely the DJ thing, without a doubt. Like I saw myself being in radio,
Yeah,
being in major markets in radio, without a doubt.
yeah,
The acting thing, I saw that a little bit later, and then it was something I want, and I kept putting it off and putting it off, and then one day it was like, you know what?
yeah,
You only live once. Let's do it.
yeah.
You
What
know.
made you keep putting it off?
Well, being busy with radio,
Yeah,
using that as an excuse,
yeah,
because it does keep me. I mean, you got to understand. During this time, I'm doing Hot 105. I got a nationally syndicated show, so I'm doing Hot 105 weekly. I'm talking on air and doing mixes, so I'm on 7 days a week. I'm
yeah,
doing mixes for the syndication company. I'm doing Power 92 in Chicago, and then I ended up being picked up by another station in Chicago, which is with the same company, 106.3, and they do old school mix. So that's a dope contemporary station. So now at one point I'm on two radio and one of the only few DJs to do that. Me
yeah,
and another one of my brothers, DJ Pat, may he rest in peace, man. I love you so much, bro. But like we were the only DJs in Chicago and in a lot of markets to be doing literally two stations
yeah,
in the same city. But the only reason why that was possible, because that's not likely, is because it was the same company. And then two, they were two totally different formats. We got one that's like new school with your Drake and Lil Wayne's and
yeah,
Nicki's, and then
yeah,
the other one is old school. So I'm doing 80s, 90s, 2000s mixes. You see what I mean?
yeah,
Yep. So yeah, it was just being busy with that. And then one day I was like, so what you gonna do? Because you're gonna keep doing this, bro. I'm gonna have to put it in the mix. You know what I mean? Just like a song. I'm gonna have to add the acting to the mix, and so that's what I did.
Yeah, that's what's up. So now, where do you see yourself in the future to come?
Continue to do radio, which is my love. I love it. I never want to
Yeah,
stop doing it. But also, I want to be on TV every week. I see myself on TV and in movies every week, but I want to do like a show every week, or every Tuesday, you at 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
know, or whatever. You know, you tune in to this show, whether it be a Power or an Empire, or just whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Grey's Anatomy.
yeah,
Good Girls, whatever the case may be. That's what I see myself doing, being on TV every week and doing movies and just getting it in, using the DJ career to boost the acting career, and
yeah,
then using the acting career to boost the DJ career. Think about it. If you saw me on Power and I had a cool little role in that, and then I DJ, what do you think that's going to do to my DJ career? You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just throwing,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? But or a TV show, period.
yeah,
And then if I'm on it frequently, I'm making frequent, that don't do nothing. One is just boost the other. And so
yeah,
that's the plan. That's
yeah.
my secret. I'm finna use them to uplift each other.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank
I
you for
love,
having me.
yeah, I love hearing people's stories. How they came up and how
Hmm.
they chased their dreams and got to it. And I'm gonna name this like seized opportunity, like seize the
Or
opportunity,
seize the moment. Oh yeah,
seize
seize
the
the
moment,
moment.
seize the moment.
Something like,
Okay,
yeah, I'm with
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because it seemed like every opportunity that just came, you feel me? You just got to it. You was ready for it, and that's inspiring for real.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. Well, keep doing what you're doing though too, man. I
yeah,
definitely support you. However, I can help you. You know what I mean? If you want to try to get in radio or something, holler at me, whatever connects I have, or just whatever it is you want to do. You
yeah,
know what I mean? You like little bro, me and your mom cool. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And so little bro now. So holler
yeah.
at your big bro. Let me know. I got you.
All right, man. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Y'all have a wonderful day. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and peace.
All right, brother. Peace. Thank you so much.